A very good evening and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio for the Newsfirst team. I'm Jadabdin. We start off with a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
In headlines, Sri Lanka's Wickremesinghe hosts India's NSA Ajit Doval. EU election observation mission holds media briefing. Queues at passport office, no more. 2 injured after Singapore flagged container ship hits Australian vessel in Perth. And in sports, Antonelli crashes in F1 practice debut with Mercedes. And now your news in detail. In local news, India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval met with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. They discussed on ongoing economic collaboration between Sri Lanka and India, according to the President's media division. He also met with the leader of the National People's Power, Anurakkumara Dissanayake, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, parliamentarians representing the Tamil community including M.S. Sumandiran, Sivananam Sridharan, Selvam Adekalanathan, Silvaraja Kajendran and Dharmalingam Siddharthan. Additionally, Ajit Doval also met with members of the Tamil Progressive Alliance, including the leader of the party, MP Mano Ganesan. Ajit Doval, one of India's most celebrated spy masters, is serving as the National Security Advisor for a third term. In 2019, he became the first NSA to serve for 2 terms. Doval, a former Intelligence Bureau chief, is only the second NSA after M.K. Narayanan to have a professional career in intelligence. National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Kumar Doval, arrived in Sri Lanka last morning for an official visit. Doval is in Sri Lanka to participate in the Colombo Security Conclave, which focuses on key areas such as maritime security, counter-terrorism and cyber-security. The Indian High Commission to Sri Lanka informed Newsfirst that Doval's visit is at the invitation of the Sri Lankan government. During his 2-day visit, he is scheduled to take part in a signing ceremony. The conclave, with its Colombo Secretariat, brings together national security advisors and deputy NSAs from India, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Mauritius. Bangladesh and the Seychelles have observer status at the conclave. The conclave deals with maritime security, counter-terrorism and cyber security, with India bringing to the fore its own strategic concerns in the Indian Ocean. Reports indicate that several prominent political figures in Sri Lanka have extended invitations for discussions with Doval. However, there is no official statement so far on Doval's visit, taking place about 3 weeks before Sri Lanka's presidential election scheduled on the 21st September. And also in more local news, as the presidential election nears, many candidates held rallies today as well. Presidential candidate Anurakkumara Dissanayake has announced a plan to revise government employees' salaries every 6 months with adjustments based on the cost of living. He expressed these views at a conference organized by the Development Officers Service Union and the Graduate Employees Union held at Vihara Mahadevi Park this morning. Meanwhile, independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe says he has a clear plan for the youth in the country. He made these remarks during a rally held in Maharagama. Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa stressed that the Samagijana Balawege is not here to protect the elite class but to safeguard the common man. The 27th rally in the series of campaigns in support of presidential candidate of the Samagijana Balawege Sajith Premadasa was held this afternoon in Nikaveratia. And also in more local news, the European Union has deployed an election observation mission for Sri Lanka's presidential election on the 21st September 2024. Led by Chief Observer Nacho Sanchez Amor, a member of the European Parliament from Spain, the mission began with a core team of 10 experts on the 14th August and expanded to 26 long-term observers across all 9 provinces on the 29th August. In a press conference held in Colombo today, Sanchez Amor highlighted the mission's role in ensuring the selection process adheres to national laws and international standards.
every talk we are having with stakeholders, with the people, with the electoral commission in the provinces, with the candidates and parties all over the geography of the country. That means we think this is a good coverage to conduct an objective assessment of the election. Are assessing the compliance of the authorities of the country with the domestic law and your international commitments. We are not here to compare or to test or to check the compliance with our values, but the values you are committed to via international law. The covenants and the treaties you have signed, and that protects the right to participate and many other civic and political rights. I want to be clear.
And shifting your attention towards more local news, the delays in issuing passports had led to long lines around the Immigration and Immigration Department for several days. This issue arose from a temporary shortage of blank passports due to the recent transition to an electronic passport system. The Department of Immigration and Immigration said that 750,000 blank passports have been ordered from the same supplier responsible for producing the e-passports. By this morning, the police intervened and issued numbers for the following days when measures were taken to put in place to process nearly 1,000 passports per day in the order of their arrival until the stock is replenished. As a result, the crowd outside the premises had dispersed. And up next is international news.
International news.
In news overseas, 2 crew members on an Australian ship were injured today after it was hit by a Singapore-flagged container vessel at Perth's Fremantle port. This Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore said in a statement that the container ship Maersk Sheku hit the stationary ship STS Lewin 2 at about 6:20 a.m. Singapore time. Maersk Sheku was moving into the harbour when the incident happened, while the ship was assisted by 4 tugs and was under pilotage at the time, which means it was guided by a mariner through local waters. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And in sports, Italian teenager Kimi Antonelli expected to replace 7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes next season, crashed heavily on his Formula One practice debut at the Italian Grand Prix today. Antonelli, who turned 18 last Sunday, brought the session to a halt after 10 minutes at Monza when the rear of the Mercedes snapped out of the line at high speed and the car spun off into the barriers. The car was brought back to the pits for repair, with Russell due to take over for the second session at the Temple of Speed. Antonelli is expected to be confirmed by Mercedes imminently as a replacement for Hamilton, who is moving to Ferrari at the end of the season. And with that, we wrap up this evening edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Shadabdin. Thank you for watching, good night and take care.